It is that time of year, my AKAPADers. It's horror season. It's October. It's the 31 Days of Dread, where we do on this podcast, AKAPAD, the Film Buff Podcast. That's me. We do one horror movie a day for the entire month of October. This year, it's nothing but black and white movies. Let's go. A little bit of a show note, but guys, it's the 31 Days of Dread extended. See, it's extend like hyphen dead, but throughout a lot of the other posts, it's just the normal way you spell or write extended. But these are additional horror episodes to the 31 Days of Dread, one horror movie a day for the entire month of October. We're about nine years deep. We have hundreds of episodes in. We love horror. We watch nothing but horror. It rattles your brain a little bit. There's so much horror happening here. I'm doing something a little bit different for two reasons. One of them is I want to connect this episode to my recent Jack the Ripper 1959 episode. That I believe is the beginning of what they talk about here on Monster, the Ed Gein Story. Showrunner Ian Brennan. This is the name you should know attached to the show. It's not Ed Gein. Ian, he gave us Dahmer, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. He gave us Lyle and Eric Menendez story. I would say the parents, the acting in the Menendez stuff, like oh my god, like top level for the Jeffrey Dahmer story. And so much of Jeffrey Dahmer got clipped. So much of Ed Gein right now is getting clipped, circulated, spiking on TikTok. This show, I'm going to say this before I talk about why we're listening and recording this show right now. This show is somewhat of a study. I don't want to say somewhat. It's a study on how we connect to serial killers, how we connect to the demon, and potentially the quest to find the humanity within that. I believe in the death penalty. I don't believe these guys have a chance for a redemption arc, but that's a little bit of what we get here. We can connect this to Ian's narrative within all three of these miniseries. But recently, I did this Jack the Ripper 1959. And I wanted to connect the two within, like the flow of a feed. Because I do feel like Ian, for this show, missed an opportunity to highlight the obsession and the dedication that people had with Jack the Ripper leading into some of these bigger, more popular names coming through the media, getting movies, being inspired. So that's one of the reasons why we're doing a extended episode instead of a standard 31 Days of Dread episode. The other reason is I'm rethinking a little bit of the production process here, because I had a comment recently that said there's too much audio over my voice. So I just want to rush out an episode where I make some adjustments, and I'm hoping, even though sometimes when you get comments, people sometimes are jittery, they get annoyed by something, and it becomes a comment. It may not be the status, may not be the state of the union, but it's something you have to consider. And I filter comments, I go through them methodically when I do have time. So we miss comments and things like that. That's why it's important to see patterns, and you get more than one comment about one thing, and then you kind of have to make adjustments. But random one-off comments, but it doesn't matter, because we're here to make things better. We're always here to go a little bit further, to get to we want to add a little bit more of a shade, a little bit more of a highlight, to make something perfect. It's almost like oil painting. So what is this story? Look, here's what we want from this. And this guy, I know it's a miniseries, but Charlie Hunman, we know him from Pacific Rim. We love him in Pacific Rim. He deserves all the accolades for this. His girlfriend, imaginary girlfriend, Susanna Sun, she deserves accolades. This entire show, the way it's shot, you feel the cold air, you feel where he grew up, you feel the farm, because he kind of grew up on a farm. There's a lot of the show, like Menendez, like Dahmer, 100% true. There's supposition, there's some narrative reach. That's fine. That's fine. But the point of this show isn't the life, the infliction, how potentially the personality got corrupted. All on display here. All 8 episodes used very well to sketch this out. It's the impact of serial killers in American culture. And we go right back to natural born killers. Oliver Stone, I know Quentin Tarantino does not favor the interpretation of his script for natural born killers, but we got to put Quentin in there. Natural born killers, Mickey and Mallory, is the idea that serial killers can become popular, so much so they get emulated, they get loved. Homicidal maniacs are not punished, they're rewarded. And this is something in society, in the free society, that we feared for such a long time. And I think we've seen shades of it. We've seen media just amplifies it at this point, but also with the media cycle, media burns it out. So there is a balance there. I don't think many people make that connection. Throughout these eight episodes, we see the formation of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. We see them on set with a Kevin Bacon walk-on, hitting the clapper for Silence of the Lambs. We see them on set for Psycho. And then everything moves into this last episode where the influences and the reach of Ed Gein bleeds into the consciousness. And it bleeds into normal people, the normies like the movies, and the sociopaths. They kind of get this playbook. And we all know what the direct connections of some of these inspirations are. But the stuff is so giant, it's so sensational. We have to say inspired, right? It's just too big not to be. It's almost like winning the Super Bowl and not believing another team of saying, well, we didn't learn anything. We didn't watch it. We didn't adapt our methods to emulate it. If another team, like head coach or GM or owner, tells you that, you kind of would think they're lying. It just doesn't make a lick of sense. So this final episode, we get this potential of redemption. Like this idea that maybe he could go to heaven. And in those terms, he would, right? Because he has, converted. There's that idea. But then there's also the idea that he gets to see his punishment is seeing what he inspired. And there's some of this too, like we feel sorry for him. We see his mental illness, if there was such. There's pushback against that. The narrative here, and I view it a lot like the Barbie movie, where just on a narrative sense, as of cause and effect, what's happening within the story, the information we're told, it can go either way from your interpretation of it or where you are as an audience member. It's full audience participation. It's almost like interactive. Isn't that amazing? I love it when we're transformed when media kind of creeps in and reaches into us sometimes. And
roll sound.
Rolling.
Sound production,
let
take
me
2.
cut in. Sorry, AKA Padders. I know it's such a hot, passionate episode, but I'm breaking the flow real quick just to remind you guys. If you want to support me, one of the best, easiest, and free ways to do it, leave a comment. Give me a like. I know there's someone out there that you know that loves film as much as I do, that love the film industry as much as I. Show this to them. Comments, likes, and reviews, positive or negative, it doesn't matter. We need to increase our reach, and to do that requires your involvement in everything that I do. We're linked. We're forever bound. You're the membrane. I'm the muscle. So guys, let's just do it. One review. Do you have it in you? Okay, back to the show. And plays us a little bit like a fiddle. I think this is the best one of all of these because of everything I just described. The other moments from a lot of these other series that we wait for the killing, we wait for the gore, we wait for the shock value of all of it. We get that. We get like Javier Bardem and Chloe Sevigny for the Menendez stuff. Like, the parents are phenomenal. So we get these moments that we wait for. We get conflicts, but we're not put more in a theory, in a structured layout of the implications of this, in small and large. I want to say the Menendez story, the Jeffrey Dahmer story for Brendan here was the template, and he now had a subject matter to expand on these ideas. Because you want to say, we can say the same stuff about Dahmer. We can say similar things about Menendez, where the inspiration for it, the motivation for it, the impact of it. I don't know who he's doing next, but man, like, I am like thrilled. I am highly high level of anticipation for what we have coming. And I don't want to spoil it. Like, let's just see here. I got a article. Does the article talk about? Well, let's just maybe, can we go to? Let's just go to Ian's page here, and like, we have The Watcher. No. Oh, The Watcher. Oh, he did we weren't crazy about The Watcher. I'm just trying to go through some of his credits. Sometimes they have upcoming. I don't see. But it really doesn't matter. Because I think everything he's got coming, we're better for. I think for Halloween, this is the perfect thing at the perfect time. Netflix, like, every single year has a knack for that. Like, they know more than we know at this point. This is a fantastic miniseries, guys. I cannot recommend it enough. It does live up to a little bit of the hype. It does get a little gruesome, gets a little bit gory, but we're all in. But all right, AKAPADers, the 31 Days of Dread extended monster, the Ed Gein story. You gotta check it out.
Okay, that's a wrap.